Hey everybody, Coach Steve here with MultiSport Mojo. One of the questions that I get asked the most out on our MultiSport Mojo family of social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the Facebook group, and out on the MultiSport Mojo family of websites, trygearguru.com, swimgearguru.com, rungearguru.com, and ridegearguru.com, are about multisport watches, GPS or smart, Garmin or Suunto, Apple or Samsung. Are they waterproof? Are they comfortable? Do I need GPS? Do they have an app? Are they waterproof? A lot of questions because multisport athletes, we're gear junkies and our watch is our baby. It's when we poll people what their favorite piece of equipment is, it's their watch. Unless you've got a killer tri-bike, that starts to compete with favorite. But watch, hands down, is our favorite piece of gear. I want to talk today, or give you at least a closer look at the Suunto Spartan Sport Wrist HR. It's my favorite of the multisport watches that Suunto makes. And between you and me and the fence and everybody else out there that's watching, it's my favorite multisport watch. Now, if you're a Garmin lover and you love the Garmin Forerunner 935, which for a long time was the staple best, and I was right there with you, of the multisport GPS watches. Now the Garmin Forerunner 945 has been released, and it's amazing. I want to give you, if you're not familiar with Suunto, a closer look at its closest competitor to the Garmin 945. We just call it the 945. You say the Forerunner 945, but really the 945, you know what I'm talking about. This is the Suunto, S-U-U-N-T-O, Spartan Sport Wrist HR. Okay, let me tell you about why I love this watch, and this is my watch of choice. Why? It costs less. It only costs $499, $500. If you want to get an optional heart rate strap, you bump it up another $100. You go to $599. You compare that to the $599 cost of the Garmin Forerunner. You start off right out of the box with a really good value. B, what I love the size of the display. The display on the face is 1.5 inches. Not the glass going across, but the actual display. You can see that, I'll try and bring it in there a little closer. Let me see if I can, let me put the light on. You can see the black ring around the outside. The display size itself is 1.5 inches. I love that. And then the resolution is 320 by 300. So if you're on an early morning run where you're just on moonlight, or you're in the water on a swim, or you're on a ride where maybe you're in aero position, this is ridiculously easy to read. Both, just the watch face in general. Let me back it up. Just backing it up to where I can get it back to the watch face. I'm just zipping through different things. Really, really easy to read. And then it's got it's touchscreen, right? So I can move through the apps. When I want to start to do things, there's the heart rate. If I want to jump into an activity, I can pick my activity. It's going to come up open water swimming, and I can just start it and go. If I want to move out of it, I can move out of it. Everything's on the touchscreen. So, as a multisport athlete, when you're hustling, moving, the ease of going back and forth and navigating the watch on a touchscreen, along with the buttons. When you're swimming, when I swim with it, and this is a new watch to me, so I've tested it out on rides and runs and swims. In the water, it's not as easy, which makes sense, right? It's not as easy to move it on the touchscreen. So you've got these great buttons, which are easy to find, and it's very intuitive on moving back and forth across the data. Okay, the other thing that I really, really like about it is that it's waterproof right out of the start. You may already know that, but if you're an Apple Watch user, for example, you got to set it before you get in the water, and then you got to set it back to normal mode when you get out of the water. It's got to spit all the water out of the side. I'm not crazy about that. In fact, I'm not a big fan. I had an Apple Watch for a while. Between all of us multisport users, this is my watch of choice if I've got to use between the two. Now listen, I still get all my notifications. I can connect through the Suunto app on my smartphone. I can connect my notifications, so I get a notification on an email or a text, or when my phone rings, this starts to go off. So I get all of that. When I was using my Apple Watch, I wasn't responding to texts and emails on my phone anyway. I was pulling it up. And I don't have to pay an extra fee to my carrier to have all that. It just connects to my phone. So It's a terrific advantage. I'm going to tell you some of the things I really like. It's got 80 sport modes, and you can dial in which ones you want. If you do running, swimming, cycling, that's great, but it's just not those three. It's swimming, you do open water and pool. You want both those in here. You want endurance or power for cycling. You want both those in here. You want trail running or road running. You want both those in here, and it gives you those options. If you play pickleball, you can throw that in there, and it's got options on a data set for pickleball. Do you play soccer? In there. Football? In there. It's got 80 options you've never heard of. I'll tell you what's important to me is not only does it have individual modes for running, cycling, swimming, and then dials on each of those, but it's got triathlon. So for a race day or for brick workouts, I can get a data set that's geared for all three of those. It doesn't stop. I don't have to jump between the three. I can keep it, especially on race day, I can keep it continuous. That's huge, huge asset for this. Okay. Battery life, if you just got it on time and you weren't doing anything, it can last for 14 days. If you just got it on notifications and tracking like the nav tracking, it'll last 7 days. Still, you're huge on one charge, right? But once you get into training, that's where we're all at, right? You're at a 30-hour set. So on race day, even if you're an 18-hour finisher at an Ironman triathlon, you got no worries here. For all the pre-race, during the race, and after, you got plenty of charge. It's not going to die on you anytime soon. I know that's one of the questions that we get. Is it going to die on me like my phone does during a race? No, it doesn't. This is going to stay juiced for way longer than you're going to need it out on the course. Super tough. I can tell you that it's got this great silicone response, so it's really, really comfortable, and nothing's going to happen to it. I love that it's got the double straps around the end. It's not going to flip off and die. It stays very secure. You want the heart rate, right? This wrist heart rate monitor, you want it to sit snugly on your wrist. So it, even though it's the straps keep it snug, you can see, and I'm going to try, it's really, really soft. It's not stiff. I mean, and I'm giving it a pretty good workout here. It's really soft, and you can fit, you can hear, right? Nothing. It's really velvety soft. I really, really like it. It's got this great case, so nothing's going to happen to the crystal on top. I mean, be careful. I mean, like you would with any multi-sport watch, you don't want to bang it on the top, but it's pretty tough, right? Multi-sport athletes, swimming, riding, running, and all the three, our watches get kind of banged up. And everything is safe and sound with this stainless steel casing that it's in, and this is built to take a beating. I would encourage you to wash it with some soap and water especially after a swim and a run, maybe and a ride. You don't want the sweat to get in there and stay. You don't want salt water or chlorine to get in there and stay. Just after you're done, just soap and water, just rinse it off, and you're good. It's waterproof, right, to 100 meters, so different than an Apple Watch where you've got to set it for that. You don't have to worry about going. You just go jump in the water and you come back out. It's got the wrist HR, so we're talking breadcrumbs and maps and tons of data on the watch and on the app. The app's got, we talked about all the maps and all the features and the drill down on that. It's awesome. So we've talked about notifications, GPS navigation with the maps. So one of the cool features you get is the mapping, and it's not only the map, but the map dials into where you are on that, and you can look at scaling with your heart rate or your cadence or your pace, all of that, along with distance and splits. You get all of this killer information because of the nav. It's 74 grams. I know multi-sport watches in the past have been bulky, heavy watches that you would really only wear maybe for a multi-sport, or if you wanted to show off that you were a multi-sport athlete, you could wear it for everything else. They're big watches, right? This is a beefy watch, but it's not huge. It's pretty. You can tell it's a pretty slim design, and it's pretty slim when it's on. I think it's a really nice balance between being a beefy, tough watch and the display that's a little larger with a high res that you can read. Different watch faces, which I really like. You can get options between what you want to see all day long, and then I like to have steps, right? So I like to see my steps. I have a little competition with my kids and my wife around who gets the most steps. It's great because I get to run in the morning, and so I get a head start. But I like to see that, so you can dial in what you want on your normal watch face for the everyday. Okay, that is the Suunto Spartan Sport Wrist HR watch. Would I recommend it? Highly, highly recommend it. If you're an Apple Watch user, I'm just not as big a fan of the Apple Watch. I love this. If you're a Garmin user with the 935 or 945, or you're considering, maybe you're considering the Garmin 945 or 935. This will cost you, right now you can get it on sale out either at the links out at rungearguru.com or trygearguru.com. Just search the watch. It'll take you out to comparison articles or the drill down on this. And it'll link you out to the best price out on Amazon. You can go out to the Suunto site and get a drill down as well. This, for the money, is the best multi-sport watch out there. That's my opinion. I absolutely love this watch, and I think you will too. This is Coach Steve with MultiSport Mojo. You can follow us out on MultiSport Mojo out on social media at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Join our Facebook group at MultiSport Mojo. And we may invite you to come onto our Apple podcast and we can play 13 questions. Hey, listen, multi-sport athletes love to talk to one another. We get around each other and we ask one another questions. What kind of gels do you like? What's the most difficult? How do you get through transitions fast? We've got 13 questions that we ask multi-sport athletes. Go ahead and listen to the podcast. If you join the Facebook group at MultiSport Mojo, we may even bring you on. It's all about age group athletes. We want to bring you on. And then go out to the sites for all of the content, gear reviews, tips and tricks. I'm an Ironman certified coach, so we're not playing around. Rungearguru.com, trygearguru.com, swimgearguru.com, and ridegearguru.com. Again, this is Coach Steve. This is the Suunto, Suunto Spartan Sport Wrist HR. Love this multi-sport watch. Go grab yourself one. Thanks.